get started in a nice seated position tonight, and whatever's comfortable for you. And if seated really isn't comfortable, then feel free to lay down. That just is in keeping with what I want our focus to be tonight, which is just acceptance of whatever it is that you need. And we're going to be honoring that in a very physical way tonight as we practice. But I think so much of what we do in yoga on our mats translates off our mat. And so the reason for practicing this awareness of acceptance of what you need physically is that then it can translate into your life, where right now it's like people are having a hard time, I think, figuring out what it is that they need to do, what it is that is going to best serve them right now, because there's a fine line between like resting and laziness, or going after a goal and pushing yourself too hard. So just honing in on what it is that you really need. So I encourage everyone to do that tonight. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But let's go ahead and sit up nice and tall. Let's inhale, take our arms up above our head, and just start with some gentle twists, twisting off to the left. Big inhale as you exhale, twist. Inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, twisting off to the other side. Inhale, breath in, and exhale, twist. And keep going like that, breath to movement a few more times on each side. So in keeping with honoring what you need, I'm going to be doing that as well. And so if you find me maybe leaving poses before you're ready, or not going as deep, kind of looking at me for the inspiration of the pose, and you're like, oh, I think I could make this a little more challenging, or I could go a little deeper, please feel free to do that. Because I think part of what I'm realizing is I need to honor where I'm at right now too. And in keeping with that, inhale up. This time you're going to take your left arm down, right arm over. I need to honor what I need, but I don't want it to take away from your practice. So don't feel like you have to stay exactly right on track with me. Inhale up, exhale over. But at the same time, if you need to rest before I say rest, do that as well. So it's all just practicing, just honoring what it is that you need in this moment right now. We'll do one more like this. Inhale up, exhale over, and hold for 3 breaths here. As you reach with that right arm up and over, nice length through the right side of your body. Last inhale and exhale. Inhale, taking the arms up. Exhale, taking the arm over, reaching that left arm up and over your ear now. Last breath in and out. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, release your hands and then change the cross of your legs. So if your left leg is in front, change the cross so that the right leg is in front. Sit up nice and tall, inhale, and then exhale, reach your arms forward, pressing your hips back. Big inhales and exhales through your nose. And then taking your hands off to the right side. Pressing back through that left hip as you reach to the right. And start right away tonight paying attention to what it is that you might need. And changing sides here. Some of you might already know. Some of you might know you've got some aches and pains going on, or perhaps some muscle soreness, and you're aware of these things, but it's not uncommon for you to not really know what you need until you start moving a little bit, until you've allowed that check-in to take place. And coming back to center. And from here, we'll just rock forward into that tabletop position on your hands and knees, wrists directly below your shoulders, knees hip distance apart. And let's take our hips side to side, shifting here. Feeling our way through our bodies physically. Again, this practice translates. When you start to pay attention to what your body needs and respond accordingly, you're able to pay more attention to what you need mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's those little signs and little adjustments. We aren't looking for big changes. Let's circle the hips off to the right, nice big circles. Especially in yoga, our adjustments we make to our postures are usually pretty small. We're usually, either go a little deeper in a lunge or back out of the pose just a little bit, but they make such a difference in how it feels. And it's the same thing is true for our lives. The little adjustments can have big impact. One more circle this way, and then change the direction of those hip circles. Let's do 3 more here. And on this last circle, finding some steadiness with that tabletop. And we're going to take that right leg, reach it back behind you, left leg or left arm reaches out in front, and just hold here for 3 deep breaths. So tonight our focus is more kind of internal, just that awareness, that mental focus, rather than one kind of physical posture. One more inhale, lengthen, exhale, round, and then elbow to knee. Inhale out. We're going to do this 5 times. Exhale, elbow to knee. We're going to try to get a total body focus here, kind of hit a little bit of everything, leave you guys feeling good and ready for a good night of rest. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, elbow and knee, and then changing sides. Left leg goes back, right arm is forward, holding here. I always love this little check-in of balance. So again, that awareness. How's your balance today? Our balance isn't something that's constant. It changes. And when we do standing balance postures, can even change side to side. One more inhale, reach, exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale out, same thing, 5 times here. 3 more, inhale and exhale. Inhale, reach, last 2. And 1, reaching out here, nice. And then coming back to that tabletop position. And from here, we're gonna take our knees back a couple inches and reach our arms out in front of us so our arms are straight. And you're gonna keep your hips up and then sink your chest and your face toward the mat. So it's kind of this puppy pose where it's a version of child's pose, but your hips stay over your knees. And then while you're here, keep reaching your fingertips forward and draw your abdominals in. Feeling an opening through the chest and shoulders while also feeling the toning through the torso. One more breath here. Exhale as you inhale, rocking up. Walk those hands back, tuck your toes, lift your hips. Find your first downward facing dog. If this is your first downward facing dog of the day, like it is for me, and like we usually do all together, take a few moments to make those subtle adjustments. I'm never ready to land or stick a downward facing dog on my first go around. I always like to pedal out my feet, taking one heel toward the mat while I bend the opposite knee and then switch. I tend to just kind of make some bouncing type movements, coming up on my toes and rocking back in my heels. Just feeling my way through the posture, getting to know what my body feels like tonight, knowing that as we move and through the next 10-15 minutes, the downward dogs that follow will each feel different. Let's take one more breath in this downward dog, and then we'll inhale on our toes, exhale, bend your knees, nice big steps, or hop top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. And then we're gonna open up our arms here, and I'm gonna turn to face you guys so you can see this just a little bit better. I'm gonna have you bow your chin toward your chest, and then take your right ear to your right shoulder and reach your left arm back behind you as you flip your hand. Inhale and exhale. And then come back to center, chin to chest, and then left ear to left shoulder. Take that right arm, reach it back behind you. Feeling that stretch through the side of your neck, maybe into the top of your shoulder. And we'll do one more time on each side. This time right ear to right shoulder, left arm reaches back. And then if you want to deepen the stretch, take your right hand and just gently stretch that neck a little bit further, being really gentle though, to not push anything too much. And then changing sides, coming back to center, left ear, left shoulder, right hand reaches back, and then left hand to come onto the back of your head, just gently guide as your right hand reaches away. Last breath here, and then coming back to center. When you're ready, inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, nice swan dive, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, you're gonna leave your right foot forward, take your left foot back, and then drop that back knee. You're gonna inhale, look up, exhale, roll the hips back. I'm gonna look around for my block here. There you go. Inhale, taking your hips forward. A lot of breath movement tonight. Exhale, rolling those hips back. 3 more times here. Inhale, raising the chest up. Exhale, hips come back. Inhale forward, and exhale back. Last time, inhale forward. Exhale back, and then hold this hamstring stretch for 3 breaths. And anytime we're holding our pose or holding our stretch for 3 to 5 breaths, that's always such a great time to really check in that awareness. What do I need? Do I need to back out of this pose? Do I need to go a little bit deeper? And if you're not sure how to answer that question, bring your awareness and attention to your breath first to ask, okay, am I breathing deeply? How's my facial muscles? Are they tensed up or are they relaxed? And anytime you're holding your breath or your face is, really gritting to hold on, that might be a clue that you need to back out just a little bit out of that posture. And then put a bend into that right knee. Inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, open up at the elbows. Leave that heart open toward the sky. 3 breaths here, shifting those hips forward. With each inhale as you exhale, opening up toward the sky just a little bit more. And inhale, taking your arms up. Exhale, release your hands down around that forward right foot. And then let's just switch our feet. So we'll take our left foot forward, right foot back. Back right knee is down, and beginning that breath movement here. Inhale, dropping the hips, chest comes up. Exhale, roll back, straightening the forward left leg. Inhale forward, and exhale back. 3 more times, just like that. Inhale forward, and back. Last 2 here, inhale, exhale. Last one, send those hips forward. Hips come back, holding here for 3 to 5 breaths. Once again, checking in. How do your hamstrings feel tonight? How are your hips doing? And finally, how's your breath work? One more thing that translates so directly off of our yoga mat is our breathing and how much it does for us, both when we're physically exercising, but also just throughout our day, paying attention to how much we're breathing, how deeply we're breathing. Staying here for 1 more inhale and exhale. With your next breath in, take your arms out and up. Exhale, open up with the elbows. Send those hips forward. Send the chest high. Nice deep breath in and out, opening up the heart just a little more here. 2 more breaths. And inhale, take your arms up. Exhale, hands down around that forward left foot, stepping the right foot forward to meet the left. And then let's take our feet hip distance apart. I'm going to take mine a little wider, but keep your feet about hip distance apart so your feet are right there under your hip bones. And then grab opposite elbows. Let your chin bow into your chest. And then rock side to side. Crown of your head is facing your mat.
So really let that neck hang nice and long. Nice deep breaths here. You can let those hands go if you'd like, and maybe a block is there. So one other thing, especially in forward folds or any sort of fold where you're stretching your hamstrings, whether you're seated or standing, check into how much do you need to bend your knees. You don't have to have and shouldn't have locked out legs for sure, but your legs don't need to be straight to get benefit from this stretch. So play around with bending your knees a little bit more and see how that feels in your hips and hamstrings. Inhale here at the bottom. As you exhale, nice and heavy through the torso, rolling up one vertebrae at a time till you get to standing, and then shrug those shoulders up and back. Inhale and exhale. And then you're going to interlace your hands behind you. So if you have a towel, a sock, a yoga strap, or maybe just your hands here, you're going to inhale, pull those fists away. Another option is to grab forearms. So grab forearms like this. It's another option too. And then you're going to inhale, pull those fists away, and when you're ready, forward fold. Exhale, reaching your bound hands up and over your head. Again, bowing your chin into your chest so that your neck can be nice and long, releasing compression on those vertebrae. One more inhale, and exhale, release, forward fold, inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, stepping back to that plank. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths, pressing through your heels, drawing your abdominals in. One more inhale breath. Exhale, chaturanga. You can either take knees or go full chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, tops of the feet. And then exhale, pressing back to your downward facing dog, 3 breaths. So already my downward facing dog feels much, much more open. Just from those couple of forward folds, those hip to hamstring openers, I noticed such a difference in how this posture feels for me. From here, we're going to leave our left foot down. Inhale that right leg up, bend your knees, stack your hips, roll that right hip open, and then circle out your ankle one way, and then change directions of that ankle circle. Nice. And then we're going to take that right leg, straighten it out, bring your right foot in between your hands, and come into a crescent lunge. So crescent lunge is just like any old lunge you would do in the gym. You're on your back toes, front leg is bent as little or as much as you would like. You can get it all the way down to 90, go for it. I gotta back out a little bit these days, and that's okay if you do too. So we're gonna inhale here, exhale, send your chest forward, legs fly behind you, or arms fly behind you. Inhale, take your arms up, exhale, flat back, take your hands behind you. One more time, inhale, and exhale. And then from here, just drop that left hand, open up that right arm for a twist. Hold here, 3 breaths. In this twist, draw that right knee into your body as much as you can. And hold here for 3, 2, and 1. And from here, you're gonna just straighten that forward right leg. I'm gonna bring my block around, straighten the forward right leg. Back leg is also straight. If you don't have blocks, which I know not everybody does, you can bring a chair next to you, a pillow. If you're practicing next to a sofa, feel free to use something in front of you to help that posture be a little bit more comfortable. We're gonna hold this pose for another inhale and exhale, and then set that block to the side, hands on either side of that right foot. Step that right foot back, inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. And we'll do that same thing on the other side. That right leg's gonna stay put. Inhale that left leg up, bend your knees, stack your hips, roll open, and start to circle that left ankle. And then we'll change directions of that ankle circle. And straighten out that left leg. Exhale. Left foot in between your hands. And then when you're ready, rising up. Crescent lunge on your back toes. Nice, holding here. Inhale, reaching those arms up. Exhale, flat back, arms fly back. Inhale up. Exhale back. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And then from here, drop that right hand down. Left arm up for a twist. Draw that left knee in toward your body, squeezing those inner thighs together. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1. Release that left hand, straighten both legs. Block or other prop if you would like. And continue breathing here. Paying attention not just to the front leg, but also that back right leg. Pressing the outside edge of that right foot into the mat. Maybe you feel that sensation start to come a little further up that right calf. One more inhale and exhale here. And then step that left foot back. Vinyasa, or always right back to downward facing dog is an option. So exhale, inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Inhale high on your toes, exhale bend your knees and walk or hop up to the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway, flat back, exhale, fold. Inhale the arms up. And this time right arm comes down, left arm comes over. Nice stretch for that left side body. Inhale up and exhale over. Nice. Twice more, inhale, exhale, right arm down. Inhale up, exhale, left arm down. Good, last one, inhale here, exhale over. Inhale here, up, exhale over. Inhale the arms up, exhale forward fold. Inhale lifting halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to your plank, Vinyasa, or right back to downward facing dog, up to you. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And from here, we're gonna inhale that left leg up. Exhale, left foot in between your hands. Find your warrior 2. So drop that back heel, open up nice and long. Your hips are open, shoulders are open. Forward left knee is at about 90 degrees, whatever feels good for you here. And then let's start to breathe and inhale, take the arms up, exhale, return back to that lunge. So on the inhale, you straighten the leg. Exhale, come back to that lunge. We'll do 3 more, inhale up. And exhale, lunging. Last 2. Nice. And 1. Settle into that warrior 2 for 3 more breaths. So especially in our warrior poses, subtle adjustments. Don't feel like once you land there you can't move or you can't, adjust yourself. Any of those subtle movements can continue to happen and should continue to happen as you hold through that posture. Inhale here, exhale. Extended side angle, left elbow, left knee, right arm up and over your ear. 3 breaths here. With your next breath in, straighten that forward right leg, take that left arm up and back, and stretch from that left big toe all the way through the left fingertips. Hold for 1 more breath like this, and then start to bend that left knee again. Come down into that exalted or reverse warrior, and hold here. 3 breaths. Inhale. As you exhale, release your hands, step that left foot back, and Vinyasa, or right back to your downward facing dog. I'm going to flip myself around so that I'm not turned away from you. It's just a pet peeve of mine, I suppose. I don't know if y'all even notice, but anyway, so we're here in our downward facing dog. Left leg's going to stay. Inhale, right leg up, exhale. Right foot in between your hands and open up into your warrior two on the right. Nice long stance in our warrior two, so our hips are nice and open, our legs are a little bit wider, especially to make sure that the forward knee doesn't go past our toe. And then start that breath to movement. Inhale, arms up, exhale, bending that forward right knee 5 times like this. Inhale, straighten, exhale, release. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale up, exhale, warrior two. Inhale up, last one. And then settling into that warrior two for 3 breaths. Any adjustments that you need to make. One more inhale. As you exhale, right elbow to right knee, left arm reaching up and over your ear. Fingertips nice and long. Think of a nice long line of energy from your left ankle through your left fingertips. One more breath. And with your next inhale, straighten that forward leg. Reach the right arm up and back. And now you've got a nice stretch from your right toes to your right fingertips. You lengthen through that right side body. And then when you're ready, start to bend that forward right knee. So now you're in that exalted or reverse warrior, reaching those right fingertips back behind you, kind of sinking in that lunge as you lift in your torso. And with your next exhale, release both hands on either side of that right leg. Step that right foot back and Vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, we're going to take our right leg up, bend the knee, stack the hips, roll open again, circle out that ankle. And then straighten that right leg, and you're going to bring that right foot directly behind the left and walk your hands back toward your feet. So your pinky toes are together, your feet are crossed. Maybe you've got a block or something else for a prop. And play around with bending those knees just a little bit. It's kind of hard when they're interlaced and intertwined like this. But great stretch for especially the outside of the right leg. And then reach your hands off to the left. Try to keep your hips square as you're reaching your hands to the left. Let's go a breath or two here. And then reaching your hands off to the right. Try to keep your feet flat on your mat. Nice. And then back to center. You're going to leave your left foot where it is. Take your right foot up into the air. Option here to walk your hands back out with that left leg lifted. Now, I'm not going to do it, but option also to take your Vinyasa with your right leg lifted, okay? Where you can do that chaturanga with one right leg up into the air. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Real easy for me to say, right? Like, here, I'm not going to do it, but you go ahead and do this challenging variation if you want. Right leg stays, left leg comes up and open. Circle out that left ankle. And then when you're ready, straighten the left leg. Pinky toe to pinky toe, back of your mat. Start to walk your hands back toward your feet. Pay attention here to, does anything feel different? Was one side tighter? For me, the other way was tighter. I'm still healing that right ankle sprain, and anytime we injure ourselves, it's not just the injury site, right? It's everything around that area. So it's completely expected, let's reach our hands to the right this time, for different sides of your body to feel different sensations as you go through these postures. Importance just, again, on that awareness. What is it telling you? What kind of feedback are you getting? And then reaching off the other way. I know a lot of us who are sitting a lot lately, that can really bring on a lot of discomfort and pain. in the upper back, shoulders, even lower back and hips. So just be paying attention to that. And then release your hands, again, taking that left leg up into the air and walk your hands back to that plank. If you did so on the other side, you want to give it a try. From here, keep that left leg lifted and do that chaturanga. Otherwise, either take a knee or right back to downward facing dog. Inhale, exhale, downward facing dog. Two more breaths. Inhale on your toes, exhale, bend your knees. Nice big steps up to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Inhale the arms up, step those feet together, exhale, hands to your heart. Close your eyes, thumbs at your heart. So right now, take this moment to just kind of gather your thoughts, gather your observations of what your practice has told you so far about what your body needs. You might have started out thinking one thing, and as you got moving, maybe you surprised yourself and you got some new information. And I bring this to our attention so much because of how important it is to be paying attention to the little things off of our mat. You know, we all want to make these huge sweeping gestures and huge sweeping changes all at once, but that is not how sustained change growth works, right? It's the little adjustments consistently. So practicing that on your mat allows you to practice accepting little adjustments, little changes in your life in other ways. So from here, we're gonna keep our big toes together. Our knees are together, touching. Squeeze those inner thighs with your next inhale breath. Sitting back into your chair, tuck your tailbone slightly, arms are out in front. And then keeping your chest lifted, exhale, take those arms back behind you, fly the arms back. Inhale up, exhale, fly the arms back, maybe sit a little deeper, 3 more, inhale, and exhale. Inhale here, exhale back. Inhale here. As you exhale back, put your weight into your right foot, step your left foot back, and land in that warrior one. So in warrior one, your hips are square, shoulders are square, arms are reaching up, nice and straight through that back left leg. Again, paying attention not just to the forward leg, but the back leg as well. Nice, draw those abdominals in. One more inhale. As you exhale, straighten that forward right leg, forward fold. And then we're going to inhale, come back to that warrior one. Exhale, forward fold over that straight right leg. 3 more times, inhale. Arms up, exhale, straighten. Last 2 here, inhale and exhale. And 1, inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. And then start to walk your hands around, spin the right toes in. Wide leg forward bend. Hang out here for 5 breaths. I always love this pose so much. Kind of gives me, I don't know about you all, but gives me a little bit of a rest and also just feels fantastic on hips, hamstrings, everything. And if you'd like to, reach both hands off to the left-hand side. That left leg. And then both hands off to the right. And then back to center. And now start to walk your hands around that right foot. You're going to step your feet together, top of your mat. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, slowly roll up. Once you get to the top, step your feet together. Once again, preparing for that chair pose. We're going to move through that same thing on the other side.
with your inhale breath, sitting back into your chair, tuck your tailbone. So again, sinking in the lower body as you uplift through that torso. Inhale here, exhale, fly the arms back. Inhale up, exhale, arms back. 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Last 2. Inhale up and back. Inhale up as you come back this time. Once again, step that right foot back and land in your warrior 1. So hips are square, shoulders are square, forward knee is bent. Very nice. Pressing strong through that back right leg. Draw the abdominals in. Eyes can be up or forward, whatever is comfortable on your neck. Try to relax your shoulders away from your ears. 1 more inhale. As you exhale, forward fold over that forward left leg. Inhale, finding that warrior 1. Exhale, fold. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, fold. 3 more times. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, fold. Last 2. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And once again, walking your hands around, flip those left toes toward the center and making any subtle adjustments. Maybe you want your legs just a little bit wider in this forward bend. Whatever feels good for you, whatever you need tonight. Let's take 2 more breaths here and then I'll offer a twisted variation as well. So wherever your hands are, bring your hands back to center. And I'm going to use a block, starting off on maybe side 2. But a block if you'd like to. Otherwise, your right hand's going to stay down on the mat. Inhale, left arm is going to come up. Oh, level 3. So little things, right? I right away could tell that I could not open up my spine if the block was lower. So making that adjustment just allows me to open up the torso. Little adjustments. 1 more inhale. Exhale, changing sides. Left arm down, right arm up. And you press into that left hand to help you twist a little bit more on top. And then releasing here when you're ready. Start to walk your hands back around that forward left foot. Step your right foot forward to meet the left. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, rolling up. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, you're going to take your left arm under, right arm over. And we're just going to play around with some eagle arms. So if you've got sore neck, sore trapezius, that upper back area, I'm feeling this stretch pretty intensely, but this is one that, as long as there's no pain for you, can be a really great one to just get those muscles to relax and start to bring your elbows kind of up and down. And I'm not going to teach and go into full eagle tonight, but if anyone, I'm looking at you, Kelly, if anyone loves eagle pose and you want to do that, go for it. And you know what I'm talking about. Otherwise, we're going to just focus on the upper back and neck, and we'll do something just in a moment or two for balance. 1 more breath here. As you exhale, release the arms, shake it out. And what I didn't say, and totally should have, my apologies, is that I went in and wrapped my arms fully up. But let's do the other side. Right arm under, left arm over. You might end up here, right? And that might be enough, and that's fine. And just do what feels good for your arms. If you have the ability to wrap your arms all the way up and go palm to palm, that's close to, what I'm doing is close to full expression of those eagle arms, but don't worry if your hands are here, if you're still feeling that sensation well enough for you. So same thing, if you want to take your elbows up and down, if you want to go into that full eagle balance pose, you can do that now as well. Let's go 1 more inhale. As you exhale, release those arms, shake them out. So the balance pose that we are going to do tonight, that I will walk everybody through, is our balancing half moon. So Balancing half moon is a little bit more challenging. So if you have a block, or if you have even like a table or a couch next to you, another great place to practice your balancing half moon is against a wall, where you can literally like fall open into a wall. It also helps practice open up your hips. So whatever you need to do, if you need to grab something or move where you're at, go for it. We're gonna do this twice, so we'll come into it 2 different ways. I'm gonna start with a block, see how I feel tonight. We're gonna start on our left side. So your left foot is gonna be pointed toward the middle of your mat, and maybe your block if it's there. And then what I want you to do, there's so many different ways to come into this. If you have a block, you're gonna have your hand on that block, or you're gonna start with your hand on the floor, and then you're gonna have your right hand on your hip. So like I said, I'm gonna start with a block. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna start to open up that right shoulder, and then lift up that back right leg. Yep, and then as you get balanced here, I'm gonna fall out. As you get balanced with that right leg up, that's when you can open up that left arm, or right arm, excuse me, to the sky. Really engage. Oh, balance is off tonight. Really engage through your top right leg. Use your breath. One or 2 more breaths. Ooh, and then you can come out. And changing sides. Let me see if my right side's a little more steady than my left. I blame the baby. Just kidding, but really. And then same thing on the right side. Right foot is going to be pointed forward, kind of forward fold down. Maybe your hand starts on the floor or block. Left hand on your left hip. And then I always kind of adjust where my hand is going to be as I start to lean forward and lift that back leg up. Might change for you. And then when you're steady, you can open up that left arm. Gaze can be down, gaze can be up. 1 or 2 more breaths. And then coming out of that balance pose. It's kind of unexpected. My right ankle is that injured side, or was injured, and that would had more balance, so go figure. It's all these little things you discover through poses. So I want to have us come into the pose one more time on each side, but a little bit different way to see what you like better. So if you're using a block, have that block in your left hand. If you're not, that's okay too. What you'll do is just use your hand and reach for the floor. But what you're going to do is block in the left hand, right hand on your right hip, and you're going to, as your left hand comes down, your right leg is going to come up at the same time. Okay, so kind of play around with this, nice and steady, hinging from the hips, coming into that warrior, or excuse me, balancing half moon. Left hand down, right leg out, right arm is up. Find your drishti, that immovable object, to help you balance. And then you can come out the same way you came in if you want, or forward fold, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now we've got our block in our right hand, right toes pointed forward, left hand on the left hip, or if there's no block, just reach that hand forward, and then from the hips, hinging here, left hand, or left leg, excuse me, left foot is going to come up, and engage that left leg. So have that muscular contraction all the way through that left leg as you come down. Kind of helps with a counterweight, and then left hand is going to come up. Opening up the hips, opening up that top arm. Gaze is down or up. And as always with balance, you coming out when you feel ready to do so. Nice job, everybody. Honestly, I didn't see what everybody did, but I'm going to assume it was great because it was kind of focused over here. All right, so awesome balance pose. That one, I love, balancing half moon. If you've never tried it against a wall, I highly recommend that. So maybe you weren't going to do it right now, but find a wall and just like literally that same way, open up against the wall, fall into it, your hips get a chance to open up so much more and you're supported. You're not gonna fall the way you might without that. So last vinyasa, inhale, taking your arms up, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lifting halfway, flat back, exhale, stepping back, either right back to down dog or through a nice vinyasa. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Coming into our pigeon pose. Our right leg comes up, right knee to right wrist, right ankle to left wrist. And as always, before you come down, take a moment to get a little back bend, a little hip opener. For that opposite side, inhale here, and then exhale, coming down. Any props that you might need, if you'd like to take this pose on your back, in a recline pigeon, you can do that as well. I prop myself up actually a little bit. Yoga bolsters are the best. If anybody is interested and doesn't know where to get one, send me the message somewhere and I'll let you know. But yoga bolsters are, man, everybody should have one. They're amazing. And let's take about a minute in our pigeon pose. Start to press out of your pigeon, take your time, start to roll off onto that right hip, and then take that right leg up and open. And if you want to flip your dog into that kind of wild thing pose, make sure you have enough room. Reaching up and back, hips come up, and then coming back around the other side. Left leg up, left knee forward, left ankle forward. Taking a moment, inhale, opening up the heart, opening up that right hip. And then with an exhale breath, coming down, forward fold into a more comfortable posture. And even if you don't have a bolster, a big pillow is essentially what a bolster is. So any kind of big pillow might be comfortable to just have in front of you to prop you up in this pose. We'll be here about a minute. Slowly start to press up and out. Roll onto that left hip. Untangle that leg. I'm going to move myself over so I have room. If I want to flip over again, that left leg comes up and open just to sometimes unwind your pigeon. And then if you want, left leg flips over, left arm comes up and back. And then coming back to center, let's go ahead and drop our knees. Crouch back to child's pose. Option here to just take any version of child's pose that you'd like, kind of head to the mat. Or if you'd like to, you can, I need a block for myself, you can take your right arm under the left, get a bit of a stretch for your thoracic spine, that middle of the back area. Our thoracic spine in the middle takes a toll
or it gets kind of a beating when we sit a lot. We also hold a lot of stress in our upper part of our spine as well. It's nice to twist it and bring it out a little bit. And let's change sides if you've got any twisting going on in your child's pose. Otherwise, we've got about 3 more breaths here. Slowly up and out. And we'll go ahead and come into a seated butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide. Take an inhale breath, exhale, forward fold. Again, I'm going to need 2 blocks for this one. So I like to rest my head on a block when I'm in this posture, or 2 as I'm going to do tonight, discovering some limitations in my practice this evening. And then reach your hands just nice and gently forward. Slowly coming up, let's take our right leg forward, left leg stays in, inhale here, and exhale, forward fold. And changing sides. Inhale nice and tall, exhale, forward fold. And one last forward fold for us. Take your legs however close or far apart you'd like, whether it's all the way together or whether it's nice and wide, whatever's going to feel good for you tonight. And inhale, exhale, reaching forward. Maybe you can reach your big toes or outside edges of your feet. Maybe it's your calves, whatever is going to feel good to just pull yourself down into that stretch. And remember not to have your legs locked out. You don't want to feel a pull on the back of your knees. So I always try to bend my knees, just a little micro bend, a little adjustment so that I can come a little deeper. And when my knees are bent too, I can find a little more freedom in my hips. I can all of a sudden get another inch or so of movement there. And inhale, coming up. Take your legs together, and then however you would like to, find your way onto your back. All the way down on your back. I'm going to set myself up with this bolster. And once you're on your back, draw your knees into your chest and start to draw some circles with those knees. Some clockwise circles, counterclockwise. And then pause, take your knees nice and wide, draw your knees up toward your shoulders, and come into happy baby. So happy baby full expression is when you're flat on your back, your knees are nice and wide, your hands are on the outside edges of your feet, and your feet are pressing up toward the sky. Now, if full expression is not available to you, you can take the outside edges of your lower legs, or even just draw your knees further into your chest. So up to you, whatever expression feels nice. 3 breaths here. Lower those legs, taking your arms out to the side, and windshield wiper those knees, taking them right and left. A couple more times through your range of motion. And then both knees are going to come off to the right. Take some time though to stack those knees a little bit so that your knees are at 90, hips are at 90, and then open up your torso and lay your left arm on the floor next to you. I'm gonna have to adjust my twist a bit, but if you can get 90 with the hips and the knees, that's great. And then if it's comfortable for your neck, turn your head off to the left. And then coming back to center, setting yourself up on the left side, that knees at 90, hips at 90, opening up the torso. And if 90 with the knees and hips doesn't feel good, like for me, it definitely does not, make some adjustments, whatever feels good. Like never force yourself into a pose because of how someone else is doing it, or even, you know, you're being cued by an instructor or something like that. If it doesn't feel right for you, whether it's pain or just something is off, listen to your body, listen to what you're being told, because nobody knows your body like you do. And coming back to center, let's take reclined butterfly, soles of the feet together, knees wide. Hand on your belly, hand on your heart. Close your eyes. Release any control of your breath that might remain. So still consciously taking nice deep inhales and exhales, but let them flow a little more freely in and out through your nose and mouth. Pay attention to the rise and fall of your belly and your chest as your hands move subtly up and down with that breathing. You can straighten your legs out into your Shavasana. You can leave your hands where they are if you'd like, or let them fall off to the side. Any subtle adjustments or movements that you need. I'm even going to bend my knees tonight for some pressure and my low back with my legs straight. So if you find that too in your Shavasana, there's no right or wrong. Release and relax here. Letting that last hour of practice be imprinted on all of your cells. Begin to draw some deeper breaths. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth, really letting that exhale fully release. Circle out your wrists, ankles. Change direction of those ankle circles, those wrist circles. And keeping your eyes closed, rolling off to your right or to your left side. Cradle your head in one arm. And when you're ready, coming up to that
comfortable seated position, perhaps how you started your practice tonight. Chin bowed to your chest, palms are either open or face down on your knees. And bringing our thoughts back to those subtle adjustments, physical subtle adjustments that you might have made, and that acceptance of what it is that you need, acceptance when you need to shift and change. That if you're used to a lot of big wins or big things happening and you're finding yourself kind of lacking that or needing something bigger to be happening and it's just not right now. Things are, maybe stuck or a little bit slower and you're uncomfortable with that. Allow yourself to kind of dial into what are the subtle things, the little things that you're doing that are making a difference for you and for other people. The little habits that you've started, the little blessings that you're noticing, the small gestures of kindness that you can pay forward toward others. Because there's so many more opportunities, not just now, but always. There's so many more opportunities to appreciate the little things than there are for the big things. And not only that, not only are there so many more little things that we can get into the habit of or that we can adjust and change, not only are there so many more, but the little things are what make the big things possible. So by paying attention and being aware of what little adjustments are needed all around you, before you know it, you're dramatically shifting so much. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, it all translates. It applies across all arenas. So just continue that acceptance. Be a little more kind to yourself at this time. And thank you once again for choosing to be here tonight, to come together, to practice, and to slow things down on your mat. I hope to continue to see you all